Hi everyone, and after a week of news, some surprising, some shocking, some sad, and of course that newspaper article that seems to have had everyone here in the UK in the hobby up in arms, and reading your comments from my subscribers in the US, the UK, Europe, Australia, further afield, I think it's time that we all could use a little positivity. So for businesses, for model railway clubs, for cottage industries, for associations, for everyone and anyone who's trying to make sense of where this model railway hobby is going and how we seemingly have to keep it alive. But I think the message is the model railway hobby is not dying, it's changing. And that represents a great opportunity for us all to get on board and not just survive, but thrive. So having spoken to insiders in the industry and having read your comments and all your amazing feedback on what matters to you in the hobby, what's stopping you from getting involved in the hobby and what you think is really important, I've put together some key points, some things that we need to bear in mind and some factors that we need to get on board with if we're going to keep this model railway hobby going through not just our generation, but the generations to come. So the message I keep hearing over and over again, and it's certainly in the newspapers lately, is that the model railway industry, like all hobbies, is experiencing a changing demographic. Model railway clubs, typically the members are older. At the shows, you'll see that most of the visitors are older people. Where are the young people? Where are the children? Where are the teens? A changing demographic was one of the reasons both Hattons and Warley gave for, in the case of Hattons, literally shutting up shop, and for Warley, ending its annual NEC exhibition. Well, definitely in my experience, I see quite a few young children at the shows, not so much the teens. And what I hear is that teens and young people are just not interested. They're not interested in model railways. Well, yes and no. I definitely see young children under the age of 8 coming to shows. They're very interested in locos. They're very interested in trains and layouts. In fact, they love them. They're captivated by them. So what happens? Where do we lose them along the way? It's that old adage, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Well, guess what? You can if the horse is thirsty. So how do we make our teens thirsty enough? What do we do to make them really, really want to engage in model railways? Two of the key trends in the model railway industry, I've mentioned this before, are tech and sustainability. And I'll talk about sustainability in just a moment. But tech is where it's at. I haven't met a teen who isn't addicted to their mobile phone, but also are interested in and love gaming. So if I were a business producing locos or trains or model railway accessories, I'd certainly be looking at how I can introduce more tech and also adding a gamification factor, adding gaming into the mix. The other issue affecting our young people, and not just our young people actually, is affordability. What teen do you know who can afford £200, £300 for a loco? Not many, I'm sure. So if I were a business, a manufacturer, a producer, I'd definitely be looking at a range that was more affordable for teens. Well, not just for teens, let's face it, for all of us. And that might be at the expense of some of the details. Interestingly, I noticed that Hornby do have a loco that's on sale for around £18. Yes, you have to be a member, but still, that's really, really affordable. I've also noticed that they have some locos for around the £30, £34 mark, showing it actually can be done. The wonderful thing about the model railway hobby is it's not just about the locos and the trains. It involves engineering, it involves scenery painting, it involves art, it involves design, it involves critical thinking, it involves lots and lots of different skills that our young people really are thirsty for and really could benefit from. So how about creating a set that's just really, really affordable that teens can use, can take it straight out of the box, put it together really easily, no soldering, all of these key components, building cities, building worlds, using their imagination to create something that's more than the standard steam train layout. It's not just affordability though. A lack of time and space are often obstacles stopping younger people getting involved in the hobby. One brand I've seen addressing all three issues is Kato with its mini diorama kits. These kits are small, they're fun, and they're affordable. Kato holds circus events where diorama kit owners can bring their completed layouts and snap them together to make a bigger layout. In effect, Cato solves the problem of time, space, and affordability with just one little product. Now, I've been talking about businesses, but what these issues also do is represent a huge opportunity for model railway clubs. Now, I hear over and over again from clubs that they simply can't attract younger members, that they're just not interested. Well, if you think about what teens and young people don't have, they don't have the money to be able to afford expensive locos and trains. They also don't have the space to create elaborate layouts, and they don't seem to have the experience to do it themselves either. But model railway clubs have all of these things. You have the layouts from older members, you have the space, you have the experience and wisdom. It's about, again, attracting teens and seeing where are they at, what do they want, how can we draw them in? And it's simply not good enough, I think, to just say, well, here are our usual steam trains and here are our usual layouts. Think about what they really want and think about ways to captivate their attention. Well, I've seen this being successfully done in a number of clubs. I had the pleasure of meeting some young members from the East Grinstead Junior Model Railway Club recently, and they are so involved and so active in that club. It's a real pleasure to see. If you saw my other video on AIMREC, Fred is definitely engaging with younger members. You only had to see the young people outside fixing the loco and giving train rides to visitors to see that there's definitely interest. So talk to these people, talk to model railway clubs who have junior sections, talk to teens, talk to young people. If you belong to a model railway club or you run one that has a junior section, I'd love to hear from you. Send me an email, drop me a comment and let me know how that's going. My challenge to everybody else, how about setting one up? Start now, talk to parents, talk to young people and see how you can actively engage young people, see what they really, really want and see if your club can deliver it. It may be that we have to accept that the old way of doing things is no longer relevant. It's just not working when it comes to attracting younger members. It might be that we need to use more imagination to attract their attention and to get their engagement in the hobby. And on that note, when it comes to branding, what I've noticed is in terms of products, there's a lot of products for younger children. There are products for the older collectors, for example, and both are valid, both have their place. But there's very little in the way of products and branding for young people, for teenagers. Teens today are very savvy, they're very sophisticated, they're very keen and very aware of marketing techniques. They love things that are tailored to them, so definitely an opportunity there. One of the most interesting things I noticed from the recent Hornby product launch, for example, was the discontinuation of its play train series. What I was hearing from parents is that children, once they had the first play, the trains went back in the box and they pretty much stayed there. If you ask a young child to draw a train, what do they draw? They draw a steam train. And of course, the play trains range didn't have one of those. It definitely had pendolinos, but it didn't have that classic steam train. Where Thomas the Tank Engine was hugely successful was it had its steam train, it had Thomas, but it also had something else. It had a TV series, and that had generated a thirst for that product long before that new product brand had been launched. So definitely those two went hand in hand. Now, I know that Martin Weaver, the new head of brand at Hornby, has a toy background. He previously worked at Tomy. So watch this space. I definitely think there's probably going to be something coming along the lines from Hornby pretty soon. Now, I've talked extensively about teens and younger people, but what about the rest of us? Well, incidentally, the three factors I mentioned there that affect teens also affect all of us: affordability, time, and space. Now, with the affordability issue, again, there's a real need, I think, for a cheaper, more affordable product range that might come at the expense of that attention to detail. Definitely collector's items have their place, and that doesn't mean getting rid of products and locos and trains that have that attention to detail. But there's definitely space for that new product range that's more affordable, but maybe isn't as high spec as what's available on the market right now. The other thing that's going on in the industry, of course, is the rise of smaller producers, smaller companies that are producing locos and trains and accessories made to order. And of course, the rise of 3D printing. Now, anyone now can buy a 3D printer and produce trains to their heart's content. So if you're a cottage industry, there's definitely opportunity there to capture and gain a share of this market and look at where the gaps are and look at where the niche gaps are, where the demand is and fill that demand with supply. On those two other factors, time and space or lack of, that's an excuse I hear a lot. I simply don't have the time and I don't have the space. Younger generations, and I'm talking, 50 downwards, so the 40 to 50 age group, the 30 to 40 and below, we're involved with parenting, we're in careers, we're looking at our career progression, we're trying to pay the mortgage, we're trying to pay the rent. All of these factors are not conducive to spending time on a hobby like model railways, which of course are expensive, need lots of time and need lots of space. But on a more positive note, what I am hearing is that there seems to be a rekindled interest, a renewed interest in model railways. What I'm hearing a lot of from people at the shows is, I've had a train set since I was a child, but it's in a box in the loft. I've seen all the layouts here. I'm going to get it down. I feel so inspired. I'm going to get the train set down and see what I can do. Or I've inherited this train set from my dad or my granddad or my grandma, and I don't know what to do with it. I'm slightly overwhelmed. There's a sense of overwhelm about, how far this hobby will take them and how they get involved in the first place. But it's definitely there. That interest is there. And I think model railway shows, small local model railway shows, definitely play a vital part in keeping the model railway hobby alive. I see so many fantastic layouts at these small local shows. So although it's sad that Warley is no longer going to be happening at the NEC, again, huge opportunity for local clubs to put on their own shows and to keep them going. I definitely see that the interest is still there. People are more interested than ever. We just have to remove those obstacles, the affordability, the making it easy to do, making it accessible. So to sum up, is the model railway hobby on its last legs? Is it dying a death? Is it dead already? Well, absolutely, categorically, no, it's not. But it is changing, and it's in those changes that there's huge opportunity for model railway clubs, for businesses, for retailers, for everybody to jump on board, make the most of those opportunities, attract new members, find out what they want, attract new members, attract younger members. If you like this video, if you found it valuable, please do like, share, and of course subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of all my future videos.